Greetings viewers, welcome back to the channel. In today's video we're going to be back on the 2013 Subaru Crosstrek. Today we're finally going to be servicing the TR580 transmission. Just got some news on the car. I was finally able to get in touch with a service rep at Gerald Jones Subaru where the car was bought and maintained, and we were able to go through the service history of the vehicle. Did find out that the car has the original short block, it's not been replaced, and it does have the original TR580 CVT in it. Nothing has been done other than a valve body replacement, which was performed at about 171,000 miles. Just about 90 miles shy of 208,000 miles on the vehicle right now. So, as I said, we're gonna go ahead and do a drain and refill service on the transmission and get some fresh CVT fluid in it. So with that said, we're gonna go ahead and get started with this, not repair, but a piece of maintenance. All right, so before we get started, a lot of you guys like to ask in the comments for me to provide at the beginning of these videos a kind of what do I need to perform this. So we're gonna try to do that for you on this video. You're gonna need a ratchet, of course, a 14mm socket that will be for our drain plug on the transmission. You're also gonna need an 8mm hex socket that will be for the fill plug on the transmission. Torque wrench for properly torquing and fastening the drain and fill plug. You will need your new sealing washers for the drain and fill plug, and I'm pretty sure it's the 803918060 I've got here in my hand. If not, when we get to that point in the video, I will give you the new part number, but I'm pretty sure these are the ones for it. The 580 actually might use an oil pan crush washer for its drain. I can't recall at this point. You're gonna need between 6 and 8 quarts of Subaru certified CTF2 fluid. If you don't want to use Subaru branded, it is made by Edametsu, so Edametsu CVT fluid works as well. People ask about Amsoil and other products. I do not recommend anything but what Subaru has put in the thing. Their engineers designed this transmission, and they also designed what fluid and what fluid properties they wanted in the transmission for optimal performance. So I'm not gonna second guess the people that designed and built the transmission. I'm gonna use what they want put in it and what they designed it to use. So that's why I use Subaru genuine fluid. You're gonna need some kind of fluid transfer pump. As most of you know by now, the CVT transmissions and most modern automatic transmissions no longer have a dipstick or dipstick tube where you can't easily refill them with a funnel through the tube. So you're gonna need some kind of fluid transfer pump. This is from MightyVac, model number MVA6851. It's basically a big syringe, and I've seen a lot of good reviews of it, so picked one up from my local Matco tool dealer today because Amazon screwed me over on this thing. I'll leave a link in the description of the video to get this on Amazon. Hopefully you can get it a lot faster than I did, but with everything going on in the world today, I do understand that shipping and everything like that, 4 items is going to be a little bit hectic right now. So, brake parts cleaner. You know I love this stuff. We're going to have it here on hand to clean around the transmission fill plug before we remove it, and drain plug, and to clean any spilled fluid. You also want to have some shop rags handy. I like these Wipe All brand lint-free shop rags. Been using them for years. I absolutely love them. I no longer mess with old cloth red rags anymore. So that should basically cover everything we need. That said, we're going to go ahead and get into it. So you need a drain pan, don't forget that, to catch your old fluid. So gonna try to get the camera set up under here. Hopefully I can get underneath the car to get it set up. I might have to switch over to the GoPro. We do have the Crosstrek jacked up and supported, as you see. 4 jack stands. We've got the car as level as possible. This is much easier to do in a shop setting, of course, with a 4-post lift. You don't have to do any of this, and you don't have to worry about any safety concerns. A lot of you get on me for using jack stands on dirt, but as I've said in comments before, this road is on the farm. It is compacted by tractors, bulldozers, heavy equipment for the last 30 years. It is just about as tightly compacted with soil and gravel as concrete. I have no issues with my jack stands. I always do a safety check of the car. Once I get it on the jack stands, I shake the ever-loving bejesus out of it, try to get it to fall off the jack stands just to make sure it is solidly planted and not going to go anywhere. Don't worry guys, I do this all the time, been doing it for years. I always check before I start working on a car on jack stands out in my driveway that, you know, it is secure and it's not gonna fall on me. That said, we're gonna get under here and go ahead and start draining our fluid out. All right guys, so underneath the car, of course you wanna wear some safety glasses while under here. You don't wanna get any fluid, dirt or debris from the car falling down into your eyes. Real quick, we are gonna orient you under here. Tail housing of the transmission's right here going into the prop shaft. Right here, I believe is a secondary pressure sensor. This is a speed sensor. And right here is an 8mm hex plug. This is your fill plug for the transmission. Down here on your oil pan, hopefully you can see this. I'm having a hard time seeing where I'm at on the screen. This is your drain plug. Drain plug is a 14mm and 8mm hex up here for your fill plug. What we're gonna do is take the drain plug loose, let the transmission drain. Before we do that though, we want to make sure we can crack our fill plug loose. You don't wanna remove your drain plug, drain the transmission, and then figure out that you can't get your fill plug out to put your fluid back in. So don't fully remove it, because the fact that the transmission's cold and the engine's not running, it will start pouring out of here. So just crack it, make sure it's loose and you can get it out. Then we'll take out the drain plug, let the transmission drain, and go ahead and put our new seal washer on there, tighten the drain, torque it, and then we can start filling this transmission back up. Wow. All right. So fill plug has broken loose. So we know we can get it out of there. We'll go ahead and take our 14mm socket, take our drain plug loose, and let our fluid drain into our drain pan. As you may or may not be able to tell, our fluid is fairly dark. This fluid should have been replaced with the valve body replacement at 171. So yeah, that's fairly dark for it to have been replaced that recently, but of course all of the fluid does not come out when you do a drain and refill. So there was some old fluid left in there, but still a little darker than what I expected for the mileage. So we're just gonna go ahead and let that drain all the way out. Once we're drained out, I'll be back. All right guys, once we got that drain opened up, it's good to go ahead and pull out the fill plug all the way, just to help it drain a little easier. We basically drained all the way out. What we're gonna drain now, as you see, we're down to a really slow leak. So we're gonna go ahead and put our drain plug back in with a new crush washer. The crush washer on this drain plug is one I do not have, but a regular engine oil drain plug crush washer will work on this. It is about the same size. So we're just gonna go ahead and put that on there, tighten this back up in here, spray off the spilled fluid with some brake parts cleaner, wipe it all down, make it nice and neat. We'll go ahead and get our torque wrench and we will torque this plug to 31 Newton meters. All right, 31 Newton meters set on the torque wrench. and set. All good there. Now we can go ahead and start refilling the transmission. Went ahead and measured the fluid we removed, and it was right at 5 quarts. So we're going to start by putting 5 quarts in. Once we get that in, we'll go ahead and start the engine, run the transmission from park, reverse, neutral, drive, drive, neutral, reverse, park, get all the fluid circulating for the transmission, hook the scan tool up, start monitoring the temperature because we need to fill the fluid until it starts dribbling out of the fill hole. And when it starts dribbling out of the fill hole, when the fluid temperature is about 115 degrees Fahrenheit, then we know we've got it filled up to the correct level. We can go ahead and reinstall the plug, torque it to specifications, which is 50 Newton meters, and go ahead, drop the car down and go for a test drive and be done with the service. So we're gonna go ahead and start pumping our new fluid in. As I said, starting with about 5 quarts, which is what I measured removing. All right, guys, so we got about 4.5 quarts of CVT fluid in before we started getting a nice steady stream out. It's now reduced to a drip. So what I'm gonna do now is go ahead and put our fill plug back in. We're not gonna torque it yet. We're just gonna loosely tighten it. We're gonna start the engine up and hook the scan tool up. We're gonna run the transmission through park, reverse, neutral, drive, and back forward, and monitor CVT fluid temps until we are close to the range we need to be at to check, and we will check and add fluid as needed until we are just where we need to be, topped up again and overflowing once again. All right, guys, sorry for the noise. Hopefully you'll be able to hear me. I've got the engine running, got the scan tool hooked up. We have cycled the transmission through the gear ranges and have it idling now, getting up to temperature. Just looked and temperature was about 89 degrees. Check temperature is about 95 to 113, 115 degrees. So now that this running, we're gonna go ahead and start adding transmission fluid. It should take more transmission fluid now that the engine's running. So we've got right at 5 quarts in, which is about what we took out, and we're gonna start on our 6th. So the technician that did the valve body replacement might not have completely refilled this transmission properly. All right, so we got about another half a quart in. As you see, we've got fluid that is now draining out again. Again, we're gonna go ahead and just hand tighten the fill plug. I'm gonna go ahead and check the transmission temperature. Also gonna run it from park, reverse, neutral drive, neutral, reverse, park again. And if we're at 115 degrees, we should be able to come back down here, pull the plug. And if we're still got a little bit of fluid dripping out, we should be perfectly filled, ready to go torque it down. All right, so our transmission temperature is currently at 99 degrees Fahrenheit, which is within our allowable temperature for correct check of fluid level. We've just run it through park, reverse, neutral, drive, drive, neutral, reverse, park again. So everything should be filled up. Engine is running, so we're gonna go ahead and pull our fill plug. If we've got a little bit of a dribble, we are good to torque it down. If not, we'll add just a little more fluid. We've got a nice steady stream of CVT fluid coming out of our transmission. We'll let that drain out a little bit. We might be a hair overfilled. All right, we're now to a pretty steady drip, so we should be good to go ahead and reinstall the fill plug. Clean up our mess. There's a little bit of brake parts cleaner. And go ahead and torque it to 50 Newton meters. One last swipe down. And we are all done. All right, guys, in the car real quick, I'll show you the Subaru Select Monitor 3 is running. ATF temp is now at 118. It was 115 right before I switched the camera on. But yeah, just monitored the temperature, made sure we were at the right level. And as you see, now got our transmission fluid properly filled. So that's basically all there is to it. All right, guys and gals, that's basically all there is to servicing your TR580 CVT. That would be your Impreza, Crosstrek, some Forester models, some Outback models, and legacy models, just depending on engine, year, model, etc. Whether you have a TR580 or TR690. Very easy to figure out which transmission you have in your car. If you go to the passenger side door jamb, there's a black placard that has prudent information for the vehicle, the VIN number, paint code, engine code, transmission code. You'll either see TR580 or TR690. Also, if you pop the hood and look in the engine bay, between where the transmission and engine meet, there is an identification sticker on the transmission, just right about the area where the starter is, and we'll say TR580 or TR690 directly on the transmission as well. So pretty easy to identify the two transmissions. So again, we used about 5.5 quarts of CVT fluid. I drained out about 4 3/4 to 5, so most likely the transmission was not properly fully filled when it had its valve body replacement done at 171,000 miles. So we've got that squared away. The drain plug sealing washer, I do not have a part number for you off the top of my head, but like I said, I use just the standard engine oil drain plug crush washer. It should be well and good to suffice. Your parts department might be able to get you the part number or the correct seal washer. Mine wasn't quite on their A game. As far as the gasket crush washer for the fill plug, it was the 803918060. So at least got that part number for you. But other than that, that's basically it. Thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video, and I will see you in the next one.